palm reading of a 48-year-old male. So we are reading his particular hand and I would be talking about important points. This is the left hand. The left hand and right hand, the difference is it is normally said that left hand is the passive hand, right hand is the active hand. In male, we should look at the right hand, but I found that we should try and analyze both the hands to arrive at the conclusion. Normally, both our hands do show similarities. So it doesn't matter much if we are reading the left hand or the right hand, the outcome is likely to be the same. Uh, First, whenever we are trying to read the hand, we have to look at the structure of the hand. The structure of the hand basically means the bone structure in the fingers and the palm, as well as the skin covering over it, the kind of bones that we have. Uh, when we find that the bone structure is good, like in this particular hand, the bone structure appears to be very, very strong kind of a bone structure. It is basically indicative of strength in one's life. And the skin is also basically kind of, there's a good padding over the finger part also and the palm part also. There's lots of padding over over the palm. That is considered to be a good sign to have. We try to explain in this particular way, like when we are making a building, we dig out earth and we basically have this iron girders and lots of cementing, all of these. So if the iron girders are strong and the cementing is strong, the building is going to survive all the earthquakes, all the flooding that is going to be there in the life of that particular building. So in a hand, it is your own life that we are talking about. It basically means that these people have this ability to withstand all the problems and come out as winner. Now they come out as winner due to certain reasons, because a strong hand means much more richness. Richness doesn't mean only in terms of how much money we would be accumulating in our life, but richness basically is also in terms of the content that we have. Basically, in our hand, each each finger or the area under it basically represents certain one particular amount. Okay, and if there's a padding over it, like you see there's good padding over the Mount of Venus and reasonably good padding all over, it means that those qualities which are represented by that particular mount are there in abundance. For example, if the finger of Jupiter is thick or the Mount of Venus is well padded, this area, it automatically means huge amount of Venus is basically a dense planet. Venus is a warm planet. So it means more warmth within that particular person. A dense planet basically means more energy, more stamina, more vitality within that particular person. Now, when a person is asking certain questions, let's say a person is asking, will I be successful? So first we would ask ourselves, does this person have that huge amount of desires? Because if a person has that burning kind of a desires, they would make things happen. And a good amount of Venus, like in this particular case, is also indicative of high energy levels and vitality and stamina. So they do not get tired. They do not feel that dejected in spite of lots of rejections or lots of failures as well. Even if they have failures, I'm not saying you have failure. I'm just saying even if you have got failures, even then these people come out as winner as they are progressing in their life. And a good structured hand means it's something like there's a small jug of water and there's a big jug of water. So big jug contains more water and small jug small water. So a big thick sturdy kind of hand means more water within, more content within that particular person. So it's considered to, this is one of the best signs a person can have. And these people have better hold over people, money and resources. And see, it's something uh, like you have to have certain amount of money like tomorrow. Like You have to pay somebody or something like that. So such people with a strong structured hand, even if they don't have that money right now, they would kind of get that money. And it's not by pure luck that they would get that money. It is through their experience, through the work they might have done for others as well. They would get the required money in times of need. Because people would also understand that such a person does have that fighting ability and does have that thing in them that somehow or the other they would be able to give that money back as well. So this is an important aspect of the palm reading. And a weak structured hand, even if they are born in a very rich family, they would feel that weakness within them. But this hand is strong, so even if they are born in a poor family, I'm not saying you are born in a poor family, I'm just giving an analogy that even if you are born in a poor family without any money or those kind in the early ages, you would be able to accumulate good amount of money in your life due to the strengths that you have. So this is one aspect. Now the other aspect of the hand is that when we take a look at the headline in the left hand, it is drooping a lots of it's drooping towards the mount of moon. This is the area of mount of moon. Moon is the area of imagination, visualization, and romance. So a headline that is leaning downwards is kind of having that outlook of lots of imagination and visualization and romance. Till a certain period, it is straight, but in the later period, it is drooping more downwards. So if this intersection of the money and the headline is age 35, so somewhere after the age of 35, maybe a little bit, maybe even further, let's say after the age of 48, 49, 50, 55, that's when that's drooping of the headline is much more steeper. So that's when the person becomes more and more imaginative, more visualizer. So that's what may happen in one's life. It is also the area of impracticality, but at the same time, I wouldn't say that it is in any way bad. If the headline is leaning downwards, people should have imagination as well. Without imagination, there's nothing. So the starting point of the headline is this point, and the ending point of the headline is somewhere out here. So this is roughly age 35 on the headline. You would notice few lines from the headline moving backward. You can say they're moving backward, or we can say the reverse. We can say lines from inside the lifeline. This is the lifeline. Inside the lifeline, they are kind of starting from inside the lifeline and joining into the headline. So this is slightly negative because what it basically means is this area is the area of anger, aggression, and fire. This area is the area of Mars negative area. Mars is a red planet. Red means anger, aggression, and fire. So if a line kind of originates on the mount of Mars and joins into the headline, it is kind of fire entering your mind, and fire entering the mind is considered to be slightly negative, because when fire enters the mind, there's anger and aggression in the mind, and the chances of taking the right decisions decreases due to anger and aggression. This area, the amount of moon, is the cool area. The water element, it is the cool area, the imagination area. This area is the area for fire. So, and this is happening at the early stages of your life. This is the early stages of your life, before the age of 35, when we have to build our life. So anger and aggression, if it is there, it could have played a spoil sport. In smaller terms, anger and aggression, and this is the important period. So in the important period, what all things happen? The career aspect plays a part, and the relationship plays a part. So those are the things that can get disturbed due to these kind of lines that I have just mentioned. Apart from this, these lines, there are also few lines that are kind of originating on the mount of Jupiter. This is the mount of Jupiter. Jupiter is a big planet. Big planet means growth, expansion, honor, respect, position, and power. So lines that kind of originate on the mount of Jupiter and join into the either the lifeline or the headline, the meaning remains the same. It means your mind is getting inspired, or mind is seeking the qualities of Jupiter. And seeking the qualities of Jupiter basically means aspiring to be at a higher position, aspiring to be at a respectable position. And this area is also the area for spirituality as well. So a spiritual inclination also comes into play. This area is also the area for government and governance. This area is also the area for administration, politics, and honor. So these are the things where which may help you, and it is not that it is going to help you in the future. These lines are there in the early portions of your life, so these have an impact in the earlier portion as well as even the later portions of your life. So whatever line that we have in our hand, even if they are at an early age or at a late stage, they do have some kind of an impact for throughout one's life. It's not that it's going to only happen at that particular age that we are when they are kind of joining in. The main impact is there at that particular age, but it remains throughout one's life. So such a person would keep on rising up to a higher position. I just take a look at the right hand as well. In the right hand also similar kind of lines can be seen. These kind of lines can be seen. So all of these are similar indications, which I am not going to repeat. In the right hand, what is happening is that the headline is quite straight. That leaning downward line is not there. This area is the area of Mars positive area. This area was Mars negative area, the area for anger, aggression, fire. This area is the area for coolness, calmness, and tenacity. And this area is also the area for practicality as well. So the headline that is straight brings more practicality in one's life, and it basically just means a more very practical kind of decisions that the person might be taking. The heart line, this is the line of heart. The heart line is the line for relationships, partnerships, your love life. But I try to look at your heart line even in terms of your relationship as well. So whatever I might be speaking, try to apply everything in all the aspects of your life. I might just be explaining one aspect, but try to apply from all the aspects of your life. So a simple looking heartline is the best, but in your case, there are few branches that are hanging downwards. This is hanging downwards. The reason why we say hanging downwards is something related to, imagine you're standing adjacent to your hand. So the tips of the finger is the head and the sky. This is the lower portion of the body, the earth and gravity. And this is your physical heart. So on your physical heart, if there are branches that are leaning downwards, so it is kind of, it basically means something related to branches hanging onto your physical heart. And branches hanging onto the physical heart does give some amount of anxiety and stress. It does bring distractions, falling for temptations, giving your heart to different places, getting distracted, falling for temptations. So this is what you should not do. If you're doing those things, try and not get distracted. Try to be more committed to just one thing and one thing only. It doesn't mean that it's not such a bad kind of a heartline which I'm explaining, but I'm just giving an overview that if there were no branches, that would have been the best. That would have meant detachment. Now detachment doesn't mean that leaving everything and going to Himalayas, or leaving everything and all the worldly things, all the relationships and going to Himalaya. That is not what I'm trying to say. Detachment basically means being in the moment without having expectation of the outcome. These branches on the heartline, basically they mean carrying the extra baggage of the past disappointment or anything, or the past relationships or whatever. It's not only the marriage part, but it could be any relation. It could be father, sister, wife, daughter, anything. It could be anything and everything. See, we can't make everybody happy, and we love our children, but if our children are not able to perform in their life, we shouldn't get too much of stressed. Already we are getting old, and if we carry their extra baggage, we are going to get more tired. So it's better to remain more focused, more committed, more practicing detachment. Like, it doesn't mean being careless. It basically means uh, doing your duty, but at the same time not not carrying the extra baggage of the other people with you, because this would unnecessarily create lots of anxiety, stress, and distractions, or all of these things. And as far as work goes, see, we whenever we are working, we think that grass is greener on the other side. So I would say that it's better to remain committed to the work that you're doing in the present, whatever that you have learned, whatever you have learned over a period of years. Those are the things that you can do. You can't do something totally different, because at this particular age, if we try to do totally different, what's going to happen? You may not be successful, because you have to learn those things, and you have to compete with people who are very young, because they have that fire within them, they have that learning desire within them. We may not have that kind of desires as we are growing older. As far as your success goes, the for success we look at all the lines. It's not only one line that we give importance to. Every line is important, even to the extent your heart line, your headline, they speak about success or failure. But at the same time, in the books of palmistry, the line of sun is considered to be the line of career. Okay, this is basically the career line which we are seeing. All of these are career line. And the timing on the career line is something like this. Below the headline, this is the headline, below the headline is before the age of 35. This is 35 and beyond, 35 till the age of 53. And this is 53 and beyond. This is how we calculate the age. Now, it is not necessary that we should have a sun line. Some people feel that the books of palmistry, they show a long kind of a sun line. They would say this is 27, 32, 35, 44, 53 and beyond. This is what the book would say. But I found that many people, they don't even have sunline and they are world famous. I've seen people, in spite of having just a small line out here, they could be world famous, or they could have really good career prospects, even not only after the age of 50. This is after the age of 53. This point is after the age of 53. But if you have a good line out here, it may have an impact for throughout one's life, and not necessarily only and only after the age of 53. So in your case, what we are finding is that the lines are there, but some of them are wavy kind and some of them are weak kind. Some of them are light and dim. But above the heart line, this is the portion when the lines become very distinct and clear. So the sun line is more to do with how much clarity that we have in our life. The books of palmistry or many other palmistry, if you're seeing the videos, they would say that this is the luck line. Some people would say this is the career line, and some people would say this is the name and fame line. Name and fame line, luck line, career line. But I would say that it is more to do with how much energies we are giving to our work. Sun has got energies. We say in Hindi, the word is tap. How much energies we are giving to our work, how much clarity that we have in our work. So a simple looking straightforward line means, and much more depth and clarity in it, basically means you're giving appropriate amount of energies to your work, and this is when there's going to be much more clarity in the work. And because you have got much more clarity, that is the reason why you are likely to be more successful. This is how we try to analyze. When the lines are a little bit dim, some of the lines are a little bit dim, I would say there could have been lack of clarity at that given moment of time. But I can't say with 100% certainty, because there's not one line, these are multiple lines. Some of them are much more deeper and clearer between the age of 35 to the age of 53. One of them is a little bit light and dim. Some of them are having a V-like portion also. So this V-like portion pointing towards the finger is considered to be a good sign to have. See, any line having a split like thing, and if it is perpendicular, that is basically considered to be a good sign. So the timing is some, if it this point is age 35, this is age 53, somewhere in the middle is age 44. So this V is forming before the age of 44, probably around the age of, let's say, 42, 43, and it's pointing towards the amount of sun and the amount of Mercury. So when it is pointing towards two fingers, so it gets the quality of two fingers together. Now the qualities of two fingers is something like, imagine a situation that energy is penetrating the fingers. This is the finger of creativity, art and music and risk-taking abilities. And this is the finger of calculation and communication. And those energies penetrate the hand, they reach, and penetrating the hand basically means penetrating your life. And they are basically progress. And when they move inside your line and wherever you see a V or a Y, it means uh, it is likely to bring more benefit, like more calculations benefiting you, and this more creativity, art and music, and more risk-taking abilities basically helping you out at this given moment of time, roughly at the age of 42 or so. But the lines are a little bit, no, I wouldn't say that very clear, but if they were much more clear, I would have rated it to be much better in your case as well. Now, the other part is on the this is the lifeline. Lifeline is the line for energy, stamina, vitality, and desires, and it should be very simple looking. And a line, if it joins into the main lifeline, those are considered to be good. Any line which is kind of exiting from the line is considered to be slightly negative. Now, lines that join from the Jupiter mount bring position of power, respect, and honor. Lines that point from the Saturn mount brings money inside your life. Lines that exit from your main lifeline and point towards the mount of moon, that can bring restlessness. It could also bring it could also mean a desire for more travel, and it could also mean problems related to below the stomach, something related to the water element. Sometimes it could be also prostate or something related to that as well. Now, whatever I'm saying, don't think that these are 100% true, because we can go wrong out here as well. Now, if we take a look at, see, one of the most important planets for success is the Mercury mount, the planet for calculations and communication. And having many multiple lines, many perpendicular lines is considered to be a very positive sign to have, and having them deep and clear is also more considered to be more positive. Some people, they have very dim, barely visible line. Those are not considered to be good, because a stronger line means you are trying to sharpen your skills. One line means one skill, multiple lines means multiple set of skills. In the books of palmistry, if we just go by the purely by the books of palmistry, it is mentioned that if you have these multiple perpendicular lines, the person could be a very good doctor or a surgeon, or we can say even a healer. Uh, uh, but in the practical palmistry, I've seen that not every person who has this kind of a multiple perpendicular lines, they are doctors. They could be just multiple set of skills. And at the same time, you would also notice these are multiple lines that are kind of pointing towards the area of Mercury. So all of these lines are going to be called the Mercury lines. In the books of palmistry, there's a slight confusion. What should we call them? Because few lines are basically drawn in this particular way, and some people say it's the health line. Some people say this is the health line, or the liver line, or the Mercury line. I've come to a conclusion, all of these lines are Mercury lines. Now, too many lines, I would say, is slightly negative, because what happens is that it means each line means you're trying to master a skill. See, our human mind has got a limited capacity. If we are trying to master too many skills, too much time, we have to give rest to our mind. It is something like a clutter. Okay, imagine there's a blackboard. Okay, this is a blackboard, and there are too many things written on this blackboard, so there's no space, any other space to write anything else. So it is something like our mental muscles, we are not giving it any rest. So my advice would be, try to bring yourself to rest. And it could be sometimes too much of communication or too much of calculations going on constantly. So if too much of this thing is going on, we can make mistakes as well. So we have to prioritize and bring our mind to rest. That would be a better thing. And because there are too many lines, it could also bring about more bile could be secreted, and if more bile is secreted, so indigestion can happen, the liver functioning can go wrong as well. So resting yourself could help you. These multiple lines after the age of 53 on your sun line could mean multiple sources of income also, sometimes uh, fame from 2 or 3 different areas of your life. If you ask how much quantity of money that you would be making, that's impossible to predict. And just briefly take a look at the other hands as well that you've seen. These are the very, very good lines that I've already indicated. I like these Jupiter line, Jupiter, because if we do something good in the earlier portion of our life, it has an impact for throughout one's life. It's the foundation area, and if in the foundation area the Jupiter mount is good, it means that throughout the life things are likely to remain good in your life as well. These square-like formations on the amount of Jupiter, it just means preservation from loss of position of power and respect and honor. So these are what the important points that I had discussed out here. So it's almost 26 minutes out here. I would end the video out here and we would discuss related to your hand. Thanks, bye, and take care.